Brune and Leon arrived in Macedonia just weeks after the defeat of the Ottomans in the spring of 1913. Salonika, which is known today as the Greek city of Thessaloniki, was the most important port in the Balkans. The gateway to Macedonia and the provinces beyond, it was a vibrant cosmopolitan city where people of diverse religious and ethnic backgrounds mixed freely together.
Although there were some areas of the city that were chiefly inhabited by Muslims, others by Jews, others by Christians, it was not strictly segregated. So every time you went down into the port or the quay, or you went to the cinema, or you visited the market, everybody was there. There were not separate markets for different national groups.
In the Ottoman Empire, religion was the main difference between people, and this was also the main element of their identities. So if you went to the Balkans, like these photographers at that time, and you asked who you are, people would say, I'm Christian, I'm Orthodox, I'm Catholic, I'm Jew, I'm Muslim. They were identifying themselves according to their religion.
The empire was not interested in ethnicity. It ruled by allowing different religious communities a high degree of autonomy and self-government. Basically, as long as they paid their taxes and didn't cause trouble, the empire was not very bothered about what they did.
At the turn of the century, a Jewish boy, Leon Siaki, was growing up in Salonika. In his memoirs, he recalled life in this diverse society.
The lower group in which I was placed was made up of 3 French boys, 1 Greek, 4 Spanish Jews, a Serb, an Armenian, a Turk, and a Montenegrin boy. As we talked freely and played together, as we made warm friendships, we came to know things about one another's ways which, viewed from the outside, might have appeared strange and meaningless.
At the time Siaki was growing up in Salonika, the city had the largest Jewish population in the Balkans. Most were descendants of Jews who had been expelled from Spain in the 16th century. They still spoke a form of Spanish known as Ladino, and they maintained their distinctive customs and styles of dress.
The upper-class Jewish women of Salonika were noted for their finery. They had preserved traditions that they had brought with them from Spain. So they liked to go around with sort of fur-lined tunics or cloaks, as in fact the men did, and with their hair grown long, a bit like some kind of medieval court dress. The Jewish community, which was very large, covered the gamut from poor barefoot street urchins to some of the wealthiest individuals in the empire.
Leon's pictures are a poignant reminder of the Jewish communities that were once such a vibrant part of Balkan life.
It's a beautiful picture for many reasons, I think. One is there's the urban backdrop. It's not at all romanticized. The poverty of the cellar is there for everybody to see. At this time, life is conducted on the streets. In many ways, you feel that they are fascinated by the street sellers because they represent a vanishing world.
In 1913, Muslims made up a quarter of the population of Salonika. To many early Western visitors, they added an exciting and exotic flavor to the life of the city.
Europeans had always been fascinated by the Muslim character of the Ottoman Empire. They are never really seen by West Europeans as European. Muslims, however westernized, however urbanized, however much they speak West European languages, belong to a different culture and civilization. And that, I think, is constant throughout the period, and no doubt for many people it's true today as well.
Leon's autochromes depict lives that were apparently untouched by conflict, but some reveal that in reality this was a city under siege.
Salonika in 1913 was full of soldiers because although the Ottomans had been pushed out, the war wasn't over, and there are substantial contingents of Greek soldiers and Bulgarian soldiers roaming the city. And when you look at the photographs that look down over the city from the fort at the top down to the bay, you'll see the bay is full of warships as well. So this is a city at war. It's not a city at peace.
After their victory over the Ottomans, both Greece and Bulgaria claimed Salonika as rightfully theirs. But as these pictures show, it was the Greek forces that prevailed.
These are Cretan soldiers, and they belong to the Greek army who occupied Salonika. Cretan soldiers are dressed in a different costume than other Greek soldiers because it is their own costume. It is the local Cretan's costume, and even today they are wearing the same trousers in Crete.
The Greeks controlled the city for the next 30 years. Under their rule, the population of Salonika would change out of all recognition.
When you look at photographs of the city in the spring and summer of 1913, you are in fact seeing a world that is about to disappear. We know what its future will be. Its future will be Greek. And in the space of 10 years, the whole of the Muslim population will have left. In another 20 or 30 years, the entire Jewish population of the city will also have gone.
4 years after these photographs were taken, fire spread through the center of Salonika. Many of its ancient buildings, including the Jewish quarter, were destroyed.